Alright guys, James here with JWN Lawn Care and Landscaping, bringing you another video. A quick follow-up one to yesterday's Honda rant, as I named it, but I've now changed it. A couple of things I want to touch on, because I don't think how do I put this? I don't think what I said in the video was what I was actually meaning, if that makes sense. So, like, some of the things weren't going across the way I wanted to. So I'm going to clarify a few things for you, and, yeah, and I'm also going to talk about a couple of other things as well. First thing, I did post a link in to that video in one of the lawn contractor forums I'm on, and asked for opinions. People have been saying things like impact drivers, impact wrenches, whatever you call them, for getting the blades off. So I am going to Bunnings at some point soon. I think we're going up to Healesville for the day with one of my friends today, so I don't think I'll be able to make it now, but the next day or two I will be going up to Bunnings and having a look. I'm thinking at a Ryobi one, because we already, I don't know if you might have seen, but we have a Ryobi drill, cordless drill already, so they kind of have their one battery system, so you can put the battery into all sorts of different things. So I'm going to see if I can get myself a Ryobi impact wrench or driver, whatever you call it. Let's just call it an impact wrench, okay? So I'm going to try and get myself one of those, because apparently they make it way easier to take the blade bolts off. I was thinking some knob in the shop that's put it together is probably just, you know, over-tighten the bolts, which apparently they do. So no wonder I wasn't able to get them off with the ratchet, but I thought you should be able to, but apparently not. So, yeah. Otherwise, I am thinking Aldi does have a torque wrench. I think $70 or $60-something coming out next week, possibly. So I'm thinking otherwise just get myself one of them. Anyway, second thing I want to touch on, which is why I've changed the name of the video now to, you would see here, HRU216 issues, blade bolts not coming off. So, sounds a bit more like what I was talking about rather than just a rant about Honda, because that doesn't really make it sound like what I want it to. So, what I linked in the in that forum, I got some really good responses and some ones I really wasn't hoping to get, which just prove that, you know, the name says a lot, doesn't it? So, people were saying, no, but oh, you know, sounds like to me, I couldn't even, one guy said, oh, I couldn't even watch it, to be honest, because it just made me cringe. It sounds like you're just bagging Honda, and I thought, ooh, not what I was going for. So, let's get this straight. I'm not bagging Honda, at all. I love Honda, really love their equipment. They make fantastic mowers, absolutely love them to bits. So, no bagging Honda at all is intended. If anything, I would call it frustration, I think is the right word. Because obviously, you know, when something doesn't go the right way, you get frustrated, right? You know, this is frustrating, having, you know, not being able to go through, like, 15cm high grass. That is annoying, like, rightfully. Because, you know, it's, you know, meant to be a contractor's mower. You'd think it would be able to go through grass of some length. I mean, I'm not expecting it to be like a slasher mower and go through stuff 8 feet high. Of course not. Like, that's not what it's built for. It's built for lawn mowing guys, which I'm one of, and which lots of other guys in this forum are as well. So it's meant for mowing lawns. Great. It can mow lawns. I will say that straight up. It can mow lawns really, really well. And it does a fantastic job. Well, I've got, you know, just my regular lawns I mow every couple of weeks, just blitzes through them. Yes, I know it's not as fast as a HRX217. Yes, I know it has a little bit less guts in it than the HRX217. But its purpose is to mow lawns. Its purpose is to be a contractor's lawnmower, and I feel it fulfills that really well. The thing I don't like, and the thing I was really annoyed about in this last video, was its lack of power. Now, people have been saying to me, you know, you need to get your revs increased. Obviously, those people are newish kind of to my videos, but I have increased the revs. I took it to Rob and said, look, this thing's just way underpowered, can you fix it? And he said, yep, sure. So he unscrewed the little governor screw, whatever it is, holding the place in to stop it from producing so many revs, and yeah, so it revs way harder now. You can hear it. It's almost like a Gravely, zero turn. It's really high pitch and it's really revs hard. So that's not the issue. Sorry, what the issue is it just doesn't want to cut the grass. Well, it wants to cut the grass, it just doesn't want to cut, reasonably longish, thickish grass. I didn't really give an accurate description, I don't think, yesterday of what I was trying to cut and why I was so annoyed in yesterday's video. So I'm going to try and give you an accurate description today of what I was actually trying to cut, because I was just kind of giving you random numbers and saying, oh, it should be doing this, should be doing that, but it's not. I don't think that helps any of us, and that's probably why I got the response I did, which I wasn't looking for. So, let's put it this way. You're normally, let's go outside actually. I'll show you on some real grass. When you cut lawn. So, I mowed our lawn a few days back, or nearly a week back, and it looks kind of like this, right? So it's, it's about that high, maybe a few centimeters. Right, fantastic, yeah, it's all nice and everything. That's fine. It goes through this perfectly fine, no problems whatsoever. Does, just blitzes through it, all good, happy days. The grass I was cutting yesterday was a bit thicker than this, probably, that's the ground level, it was probably about this high in some places, maybe. So, you're looking at not even like, a foot. It's that high tops, and it wasn't even really thick. Now, I've cut stuff. Oh, here's a good accurate description. Here we go, comparison with this thing here. So, yeah, about that high. So, nearly a foot. That's all I was trying to cut. Stuff that high. Even lower. Most of it was like down here. Like half of that. And it was just dying. It was struggling so much, even on increased revs. It really wasn't wanting to play ball. Now, what makes me even more annoyed, I mean, if I hadn't had the HRU216M1 beforehand, I probably would have been like, oh, it's just because it's, thick, long, longer than normal, thicker than normal. But that's not the problem I'm having. The problem I'm having is because where I own the HRU217, leaving the deck height on its normal height, which is about the same as why I had it on yesterday, which is about the same as why I always have it on, I was going through stuff that high, right? Or more. Super thick, super tall, and it was just blitzing through it. No problems. Only thing I had to do with the HRU216M when I was going through 2.5, 3 foot tall grass was I just had to pull the speed back a couple of notches. That's it. Yesterday, I was on speed 1, full power. I tried to leave the deck at my normal setting, but still didn't really want to play ball with that. And I was basically having to push it at a snail's pace for it to not die. It was basically, the blade was barely spinning, honestly. But I still think, coming from the HRU217, which is a residential mower, I think you guys can kind of see how I'd be a little annoyed that a $1,700 contractor's mower can't cut stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe they need to, put a GSV or GCV190 engine, which is on the HRU217. Maybe they need to put that on the HRU216s. I don't know. All I know is that the residential Honda engine has more guts to it than even an unmodified residential Honda engine has more guts in it than a commercial modified Honda engine. So for those of you, thinking I was just bagging Honda and everything, that's the reason I'm annoyed. And I think, to be honest, when you pay that much money for a mower, I mean, yes, I got it for, a bit lower than that because I bought it used and in good condition, but still, you'd think paying that much money for a mower, it would be able to do a little bit more than just your standard lawn. Now, on this forum, I have had people suggesting, I don't know what they're called, youth slashers or something, slasher mowers. I've had them suggested. Great idea. One problem though. They are really big, and they are really expensive. Now, for what I'm doing, mostly it's regular lawns, so I think, you know, that's kind of a waste, because it's like for the 1 or 2 lawns that would need it, doesn't really, you know, pay it off. So, I have seen them around, and I have, you know, I have thought about them, but they just don't seem for me. And I think, you know, I should be able to do what I need to do with the 216. That should be all great. But currently, it ain't. And that's my problem. So, yeah. I mean, I understand, you know, where people are coming from, saying, oh, you know, being a contractor, you know, taking care of other people's problems, if you haven't got the right tool for it, either get it or work out, that kind of thing. Now, people are saying, you know, it seems way unprofessional to me and all that kind of thing. Well, sorry, not trying to be unprofessional, not trying to bag Honda again. I love Honda, right? I love their mowers. They make really, really good mowers. They're, you know, they're built for our conditions, right? You know, but I just don't see there's 3 problems I have with Honda. First problem, their chutes. Now, hasn't been a problem for me, I will say that, except for one time when I was using Peter's HRU197, the new version, which does have the really tiny chute, because it's a 19-inch model, but when they're on the 21 inches, they're fine, but on the 19-inch models, I have heard they do clog up a lot, so that's my first problem. I don't know why, and when I said in yesterday's video, you know, bagging Honda about, oh, you know, they're not listening to their customers, I don't think that's really bagging Honda. That's just after reading countless reviews of people saying, we need this fixed, Honda, because they're just not working for us. And people are saying, I'm fine, you know, they haven't fixed it, I'm just switching over to Rover or Massport or another brand, and they're happy with those brands. And Honda replies to their reviews saying, oh no, it's operator error, it's you, it's, you know, I think that's unprofessional. Not me saying that they're not listening to their customers. I think the fact that they're just trying to throw it back on you as the customer and say, oh no, you're in the wrong. But if every customer, or just about every customer, is having the same issue, and Honda is going back to just about every customer that's saying they're having the issue and saying, no, it's your fault, surely, how can that many people, and moreover, how can that many contractors who are professionals have, you know, be doing it wrong? You'd think it would be the contractors that'd be doing it right. But yeah, you know, the 900 pound, it's probably your technique on this one, unfortunately. Million ways to cut a lawn, great. I'm just reading this off a Facebook comment on that post I put up on that forum. But yeah, technique, same as I always do. So, you know, it works for every other lawn, so sorry mate, I don't think it's my technique. It is just, it's literally just the mower couldn't go through the grass, that's all there is. I'm not going to, you know, go on about, oh, you know, it's, you know, not doing this, not doing that. Because I think a lot of people do, when they review products, they won't leave a good review, they'll just leave a bad review and they'll kind of go, oh, it worked as it should, so I won't care about reviewing it. But, you know, I think a lot of people say, you know, it's not about technique. I can stripe. I know how to mow properly. I'm not your, you know, homeowner who does the weird, you know, this kind of thing with the mower, just going wherever the hell they see a bit of grass uncut. I can do passes properly, so it ain't my technique. I've got the technique down pat. I mean, everyone obviously has a slightly different way of doing things. I respect that, whatever way you choose to do, whether it's in a circular pattern, striping, you know, going just kind of in a box pattern, I don't know, I don't really care. Whatever works for you, basically, because, I mean, you're the operator, you're the owner of the business, and you're the one getting the money for it, so, you know, I can suggest a million different ways I think you should do it, but I'm not the one getting paid to do the work, and I'm not the one using the tools, so it's just about your way of how you want to do it. So, technique-wise, I did everything I'd normally do on an overgrown lawn, but again, it wasn't overgrown. I keep saying overgrown, but it wasn't overgrown. Yes, it had been left for quite a few weeks because it hadn't been growing, and it's only just recently started to really grow. But it wasn't overgrown. It was, you know, maybe 4 or 5 centimeters more than it normally would be. That shouldn't be an issue for a Honda. That's my point. So, technique-wise, you know, this guy suggested here, open ending at first, brush cutting at first, hiring a slasher, yeah, you know. I mean, they're like, again, they're like really expensive, like $200 or something just to hire one for the day. Bagging your tools, I believe you're better than that. Thank you. But yeah, no, not try to bag my tools at all, mate, if you're watching this. Because again, I absolutely love my Hondas. I loved my HRX217 to bits. It was the best mower I've owned so far. Hadn't ever had anything better than it. Never used anything better than it. It was just awesome, right? Because Honda does, you know, they make really good products. Yes, they're expensive, but they're also really good quality. And the same with the HRU216 on most of my normal lawns. That thing's awesome. Like for a contractor's mower, you know, it's heavy duty. It's got, you know, it's got grunt in it to cut your normal lawns, your standard lawns. So you know, that's not the issue I'm having. The issue I'm having is that whenever it sees something that's a little bit longer than a normal lawn, it doesn't want to play ball. That's my issue. I mean, for a cheapy mower, like a, you know, $190 mower you buy from Aldi, okay, I'd expect, you know, it's probably not built to go through 3-foot high stuff. Fair enough, right? It's, you know, that's not what they're made for. They're made cheap for a reason. They're made for just someone who wants to cut their lawn every couple of weeks and be done with it. That's not my situation. That's not any lawn contractor's situation, I don't think. And if it is your situation and you're a lawn contractor, you've got a big problem. So, you know, I'm just saying, for a mower of its cost, for a mower of that price, you'd expect it to do a little. I'm not saying it has to cut a mountain. I'm just saying it might need to do a little bit more than, you know, cutting 3 centimeter high grass. But that's just my opinion. Again, welcome to share yours. Please tell me of your experiences. I don't need any more on the what's it called thing, please. Here we go. Matt Bryant, MB Mowings, just said yes, the 217 has a bigger motor. That would make sense, because I think the GCV190 is 190 cc's versus the GXV160 being 160 cc's, but it's kind of like comparing a 2-stroke whippersnipper to a 4-stroke one. You know, the 2-stroke spins the trimmer head faster, the 4-stroke spins it with more power. And I think that's the kind of thing we got going on with these two Honda engines, except they're both 4-stroke. So we're still getting no further than we normally would be. Anyway, so yeah, that's just to clear a couple of things up, because I really don't think some people understood the last video the way I wanted it to be understood, and obviously that's not going to do me any good, so I need to make sure people do understand my videos the way I want them to be understood. So, yep, longish video, but hopefully it brought some light to, you know, what I was actually trying to prove is my point. So, you know, I'm not expecting anything amazing from these mowers. I'm just expecting them to cut the bloody grass. And when they don't, I get annoyed, as any contractor would, because I honestly spent a bit over an hour at this property yesterday, just for a standard house box. Spent a bit over an hour at it in total, I think, and it's something I could do in 40 minutes or less with the HRX217 at the same grass height. So that's where I get annoyed. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully that clears up some things for you peoples. And yeah, I'll let you know how I go with getting a impact driver, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a great day, everyone.